Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Gemini energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Gemini energy. They have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. They believe in building their life on a foundation of love. They've grown and matured themselves, have learned lessons from past life experience, have no interest in repeating those patterns of ways of being, and they're bold and brave to keep moving forward in life to grow themselves to their full potential. And some people harness more worldly Gemini energy. They're in love maybe more with the world or themselves or their fear or their insecurity or their ego or lust or greed or immaturity or money. They just haven't seen the truth that it's love that makes us happy. And they might still be chasing all those things in the world. The overall reason for the reading is the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. And are we willing to be balanced? We have our worldly nature, we also have our more intuitive, loving nature. Are we willing to maintain balance so we don't tip out of balance and go indulge ourselves in our more shadowy nature, which is our worldly nature, which is represented by the devil? I want what I want. I want to just feel better, and making decisions out of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, immaturity. Have we just not learned the lessons? And sometimes we can't move forward in life in a more balanced way because there's the truth sets us free. And sometimes we haven't learned the lessons. And there's some people right now that are more aligned with their worldly nature, and they're just kind of juggling, maybe trying to maintain their balance to figure out what the truth is, because we need the third pentacle to kind of make a foundation. What is that next foundational decision going to be? Is it going to be truth and love, listening to my intuition, or is it going to be nope? I'm going to keep repeating a pattern, and no shame in repeating patterns. We've all been there, we've all done it, and we'll quit repeating that pattern when we're sick and tired of it and we've finally seen the truth of it and that it's time to move on. And then underneath that is the Five of Wands. What motivates and inspires our foundation? Shadowy Five of Wands is Leo energy. High vibe Leo energy is like life-giving energy. I choose to be in the energy of love and peace and joy and optimism. Or is it going to be in our ego? I'm going to be emotionally defensive. I'm going to be fearful and insecure. I'm going to be prideful and egotistical. I'm going to be immature and impulsive and reckless. Whatever people decide right now is the action they're going to take within their foundation. Some are going to align with love. The Three of Cups is Cancer energy. Love and home and family. Within myself. If you're in a family and it's not very loving, then it's to make a decision out of self-love. I deserve to be in relationships with people who are just and fair and loving and supportive and encouraging. I choose love. And some people are going to choose to be like manipulated by their own third party, which is their egoic nature. And then they might take action to be in a relationship with other people. What we align with within ourselves here is going to dictate what type of people we align ourselves with. Are we going to align with the people in our life that aren't trying to manipulate and control us for their own selfish, greedy, prideful, fearful, codependent reasons? Are we going to align with the loving people in our life? Or are we going to align with the people in our life who present themselves as loving family people, but they're really trying to manipulate and control us, instill fear and insecurity and codependency in us, want to feel powerful because they control us, want to be in a relationship with us because of ego or status or money or fear or insecurity? So I guess we're at a decision point, Gemini. And if you're a Gemini or you're cross-watching for a Gemini, we all harness some Gemini energy. This is the energy that's available to Gemini energy right now. What are people going to choose? We start out with the card not showing itself, and it has to do with the Hierophant, Taurus energy. The Hierophant, Taurus energy, represents what is our underlying foundation of life. How do we view the world? How do we view ourselves? How do we view relationships? What do we value? Shadowy Taurus is, I want to look like I have it all. I want people to look up to me and admire me. I want the things of the world. I want the stability and the security and the abundance, but we all want that, but they want it to an extent that it's keeping them from love. They're choosing things over love. They're choosing status and image and money and materialism and indulgence over love. Other people harness high vibe Taurus energy, and their philosophy of life that guides the decisions they make is acting with character and integrity, love, listening to their intuition, maintaining balance within themselves, not tipping out of balance into their enabling poor behavior in others or enabling poor behavior in themselves. I'm going to maintain balance to not run my life off into the ditch. And I'm going to act with character and integrity and put in hard work and effort. What are we willing to put hard work and effort into? Indulgence, fear, insecurity, jealousy, greed, revenge, pettiness, self pity, or love and hope and faith and belief? And depending on what philosophy of life people have, depends on how they harness this energy. The high vibe people harness this in a high vibe way, and the more worldly focused or shadowy people, when you got lessons learned in life, we've all been there, and we'll all get there again, because life is always about transitioning from one phase of life to a new phase of life, and we've got to get out of our stubbornness and our prideful nature when we realize that something, the way we've been living our life, we're done with that phase. It's ready to move to the next one, and we'll all struggle with this. We'll all have inner conflict about going to the next phase again because we kind of are comfortable living our life the way we've lived it, or a certain job we've had, or friendship, or way we viewed life. But, life is about death and transformation, that we keep evolving to the next level. And there's some people that don't want to step out of their comfort zone, and they want to keep staying in the same way of living their life, even though it causes them inner conflict, even though they might feel like they're being manipulated by the world, by their ego, by their fear, whatever. But they keep staying there anyway. So, high vibe people, Page of Pentacles, they're willing to start fresh and new. And the other people might be hiding the fact that they kind of align with their more worldly, immature nature, and they might want new beginnings with people, but it's to repeat the same pattern of relationship. I don't want to do things differently than the way I've done it before. And everybody right now could be having a hard time about taking that action to invest in that new beginning. Then we have the Seven of Wands, which is Leo energy. Am I willing to be bold and brave, get out of my ego, get out of my fear, take some creative, inspired action to truly move forward again in the energy of hope and faith and belief and love? And high vibe Leo is about being authentically yourself in the world, letting your light shine. Judge away, world. If I'm acting from a place of love and respect and offering other people love and respect, I have nothing to fear. But some people are really afraid of being their authentic self in the world, especially if their authentic nature is shadowy Leo energy. I'm prideful, I'm egotistical, I'm bossy, I'm controlling, I'm manipulative, I'm selfish, I'm greedy, And that could be why some of those people keep defending the way they've been living their life, because they don't want to live their life differently. And so high vibe people harness these energies in a high vibe way, and more worldly, shadowy people harness it in a more shadowy way. The Death card and the Page of Swords. Some of you might have to detach from an air sign, or living more from your mind than your heart. And so an air sign, that could be a Libra, an Aquarius, a Gemini. If any of you are dealing with someone who you feel is kind of immature in their thinking, logic, and reasoning, and is defensive, and you see that they're not willing to take creative, inspired action in their life, to detach from that old way of being. That's what the Scorpio Death card talks about, emotionally detaching from that old way of being, to speak the truth, to be vulnerable in the world. In high vibe, the pages are about, again, living your authentic life, having that hopeful, believing nature within yourself. And you have that within yourself. And you're willing to emotionally detach in the past to grow and mature yourself, to move to the next level of life, not stay in relationships or friendships or jobs where people are maybe harnessing shadowy Taurus energy, where they don't grow and mature themselves, where they're maybe stubborn and prideful, where it is more about staying in the job or the relationship out of codependency or fear or insecurity or money or materialism, instead of being bold and brave enough to listen to your intuition, to detach from it and speak your truth, and having hope and faith and belief in your dreams. And some people are defensive of doing that. They're kind of indulging their more immature nature. This is how I've lived my life. This is how I want to keep living my life. I am defensive. They also, in shadowy Scorpio energy, could be people who are emotionally shallow and superficial. And that could be the type of relationships they like to be in, because then they don't have to let their inner child out to play. No, I'm defensive. I don't want to let my more hopeful, authentic nature out in the world. They could get hurt. I kind of let my ego and my emotionally defensive nature run my life. I've put an end to having hope and faith and belief in my dreams. I've put an end to letting my more vulnerable nature out in the world. They could get hurt. So I've given up on my dreams. I'm going to let my ego run my life. I'm going to make my life all about indulging or money or materialism or status and image. That's going to be the most important thing. Because if I have those things, maybe there's other people who are willing to defend being in a relationship with me because I have these things of the world, or they want to indulge with me in the things of the world, and they've given up on their dreams too. And they don't listen to their intuition. And they're not willing to stand up for themselves. And together we'll move forward in a relationship, defending the relationship we got into, because neither one of us are willing to speak our truth. Neither one of us are willing to be bold and brave and authentic and vulnerable in the world. And the high vibe people are saying, I hope that works out for you. I don't think it will, because some of you high vibe people have lived enough life, and you've lived your life like that, and you've realized that it doesn't bring you peace and balance in your life. Because in order to truly feel at peace within yourself, it is feeling proud of yourself that you know that you were willing to put in the work and effort to listen to your intuition, to be bold and brave, to detach from some old ways of being, to grow and mature yourself, and stand in your truth. So then we have the Six of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. And those all came out because of the Two of Pentacles. The high vibe people have done the work within themselves to pick up their investment in that old way of being. The Six of Wands talks about leaving behind the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands could be our more egoic nature. I don't want to be in my fear or my insecurity anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship or stay in a job because I'm fearful or insecure or codependent. I want to live my authentic life. And in my Leo energy, I'm bold and brave enough to take that creative, inspired action to pick up my investment in those old ways of being, even if those ways of being that I need to detach from isn't another person, but it's a way of thinking and believing about myself. Because our life is all about, in our head, what we think and believe is possible, and how we view ourselves and how we view the world. And high vibe people are choosing to love themselves. I'm going to be my best mother, father, coach voice in my own head. I'm not a child anymore. I'm going to love and believe in myself, and I'm going to change. The fives in tarot can talk about change. And the Five of Swords is also Aquarius energy, that I'm going to look at life from a higher perspective. I'm going to put my life in perspective. Why do we sometimes are so defensive of leaving old ways behind? Because we get all caught up in our head and our fears and our insecurities about what's going to happen in our future. Chillax. We're probably going to live like 80 years. How about We don't make impulsive, reckless, quick decisions in our life. And we look at life from a bigger picture. And then from the 6 to the 10, we have the 4. And so this 5 of Wands talks, or this 5 of Swords talks about mental conflict, about coming together with others in friendships, relationships, workplaces, and within ourselves. And if we're tired of how we have been living within ourselves, in our own mind, in our own thoughts, how we've been living our life, we have to let go of that old way of being. And the people that we might have wanted to be in friendships or relationships or have that job with, if being with those people, there's nothing new to learn there in the Death card. Either the people I'm working with or the people that I've been in a relationship with, they don't ever grow and mature themselves. They keep repeating these same patterns and keep defending this way of being that isn't conducive to anybody really growing and maturing there. And if there is people in a workplace or something that are walking the talk, being nurturing and supportive and encouraging, the other people are almost like trying to squash that out of you, because if you love and believe in yourself, you're not going to keep staying in a workplace and in relationships with people who aren't like treating you the same way you treat them. So they try, being stubborn and prideful and egotistical and defensive and maybe bossy and controlling, to intimidate you into not loving and believing in yourself, so you'll keep staying at that job or in that relationship. And some high vibe people are done. They're like, no, I've stayed in jobs and relationships like that before. All it does is cause me a lot of inner conflict and a lot of mental conflict and make me feel overwhelmed and make me feel betrayed. I'm not going to keep juggling, hoping one day you'll grow up and mature yourself. You've shown me your truth, and I've seen the truth. The 5 of Swords also comes after the 4 of Swords. That, I took time to reflect on the truth. I find this to be a painful situation. It's been hurting me. And I see the truth that some people are defensive in their Page of Swords to moving forward in life differently, in a more balanced way, where there's like equal give and take and justice and fairness and balance, where people treat other people the way they like to be treated, And so eventually, the other people who have healed from past pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs, who are willing to move forward in life, the Queen of Swords and the 5 of Swords are both Aquarius energy. I've looked at life from a higher perspective. I don't want to stay in a place where it causes me a lot of mental conflict. I want to be in relationships with other people in high vibe Capricorn energy who've put in the work and effort to free themselves from their shadowy nature, because shadowy energy can also be represented by shadowy Capricorn energy, the Devil card. People are so consumed with their ego or their selfishness or their greed or their pride or their ego or their image or their emotionally defensive or immature nature. It's become dead. Like maybe there's no love there. They just don't operate from a place of love and justice and fairness and character and integrity. There's nothing new to learn here. I've been here. I've done it. You've been here probably long enough too. But some of those people are like, no, no, no. No, no. I'd have to get out of my ego to move forward differently. I'd have to get out of my fear. I'd have to get out of thinking I'm the boss and it's my way or the highway. The high vibe people have seen the truth and they've healed. And they don't want to be around people who are hurtful and unkind. And they're taking back thinking that they can come together with those people in joy and celebration. They see the truth that they can't. So they're willing to complete a cycle and let this end so they can have that brand new beginning in truth and honesty and love and justice and fairness, in balance. and they're moving forward to have that new beginning because they have seen the truth. The other people, they want to move forward too, but they want to keep moving forward the way that they have been moving forward. And the way they want to keep moving forward is being in their pride and ego. I'm fearful, I'm insecure, I'm bossy, I'm controlling. You know, I have mental conflict. It seems overwhelming. For some of them, it's just overwhelming to think of speaking their emotional truth. Maybe some of them did juggle people in the past, and they'd have to speak their truth about that to free themselves, because the truth sets you free. Some people don't want to speak their emotional truth because then they think they won't be able to keep juggling people. And then some people in the Two of Pentacles, they don't really like to invest in people because then they'd have skin in the game. And then if something didn't work out, you know, they don't feel like they have the emotional foundation within themselves to weather storms in life. So they want to keep juggling people. I don't really want to have to invest in people. I don't want to have to detach from some people in my life, because if they're in shadowy energy, they could just be codependent. They could have other people in their life. You know, the Hierophant can mean all these different institutions of the world. It could be their family. It could be their friend group. It could be a work group. It could be their own egoic nature. And that's how they'd always planned to live their life. And if they were to live their life differently, they'd have to put an end to being codependent. In the Child card, I have to go live my own life. I have to be more bold and brave. I have to speak my truth. If I want my dreams to come into reality, I have to quit being codependent on other people. And when we're in codependent energy, or our fear, or insecurity, or a more immature, indulgent, lustful, greedy nature, then amazingly, there's other people in the world that are happy that we live our life that way. Because then they can poke and push the buttons. It's like, are you fearful and insecure? Hey, let's be friends. Let's be in a relationship. I'm going to play on your fear and your insecurity. Are you kind of immature and lustful and greedy? Perfect. Let's get in a relationship. I'm fine that you're lustful and greedy. I've come into your life like the devil to teach you some hard lessons. And I'm going to be happy that you feel that way. And I'm going to indulge in a relationship with you because you're fearful or insecure or immature or lustful or greedy or codependent. And I can be bossy and controlling with you and intimidating and controlling, you know, maybe not right away. Initially, I'll present myself as a very stable, grounded, nurturing, loving person, and I'll defend you. But the thing is, if people are when we're in our shadowy energy, we have life lessons to learn. And what some of the very people that you've moved away from don't realize is that they're probably going to go through a stage of life because they're not willing to be vulnerable and authentic and loving and just and fair. And they might think they're cheating the system, that they can get everything they want anyway. Well, no. Because if they get in a relationship with someone again like you, who listens to your intuition, who is motivated and inspired to shed some of your baggage and your fears and your insecurities during your lifetime, eventually the new people they get in a relationship are going to feel betrayed by them too. And they're eventually going to move away from them too, because these people never grow and mature themselves. They keep staying in this defensive, stubborn way of viewing life. And the same thing's going to happen all over again. And then they're going to be defensive again because a relationship ended or they lost a job again. Why does this keep happening? Well, because some of the shadowy people keep thinking they can move forward in life, harnessing these energies in a shadowy way. The Queen of Swords is, I've been hurt before. I'm not going. I'm defensive. They're probably defensive to being juggled by other people because they've been juggled before. And they went over to Team B and started to live their life just like the people who maybe didn't invest in them. Well, now I'm not going to invest in people. Now it's going to be all about me. I'm going to make sure when I get in a relationship that I'm kind of the boss. And I'm going to try to stop other people from loving and believing in themselves. I think everybody should orient around me. Everybody else should put aside their pride and ego, but not me. Everybody else should give up their dreams. This is how I've decided I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be bossy and controlling and keep my emotions buried beneath the surface. This is how I'm going to defend living my life. I am not going to be vulnerable. Okay? So they get in relationships in their pride and ego thinking, I can make this work. I want to look like I have it all. I want to look like I'm really victorious and successful. Look at me. I got someone to get in a relationship with me. And then the whole time they get in that relationship, they know they're juggling. They don't really want to invest in people, cause them a lot of mental conflict. They feel overwhelmed because they're defensive. They've been hurt before, but they want to look like they've got it all. Look at me. I got in a relationship. Look, I got married. Okay? Now what? Well, I'm going to keep moving forward in my emotionally defensive way of being. I'm going to keep kind of juggling this person, presenting myself as one way, and behind the scenes, not let them know that I'm really fearful and insecure and prideful or egotistical or self-centered. Or maybe that I just got in a relationship with them for the money and the image and the status or the sense of stability and security. I want to win at all costs. I might be mad at other people who ended a relationship with me, and I still don't want to see the truth that I juggle people, that I'm prideful, that I'm egotistical, that I'm self-centered, that I have a lot of work to do within myself, but I'm defensive of admitting that I have some work to do within myself. So, because they want to win at all costs, even though they've never dealt with their past betrayals that made them feel wounded, they're going to keep moving forward, and they're always going to feel overwhelmed that the person they're in a relationship one day is going to see the truth and go like, I've been like putting in all this work and effort to try to move this relationship forward. I've been encouraging, I've been supportive, I've detached from some of my old ways of being and my fears and my insecurities, whatever, because I really want this dream to come into reality. And eventually the other people look back at this person and it's like, you don't really seem to be putting in the work and effort. You don't seem to have detached from some old ways of being. And part of the Four of Wands at play here is Aries energy, and shadowy Aries energy can be, and people don't have to be an Aries energy or an Aries sun sign, it's just how they harness their Aries energy. High vibe Aries energy is bold and brave and confident to believe in their dreams. Yep, that didn't work out. That's over. I'm emotionally detached from it. I gave it everything I could. The other people weren't. Okay, I've emotionally detached from it. It's no longer an option for me. I've picked up my investment in that. I'm ready to move forward. Shadowy Aries is people who might have had relationships end on them, but they're kind of still in their ego about it. And if that opportunity ever came up again, I might be willing to go back and get in a relationship with them. That I have mental conflict about leaving like my options behind. What if that other person, their relationship ends? I'm still kind of defensive because if their relationships ends, maybe I'd like to get back in a relationship with them again. But if that person isn't in a relationship with me right now, well, I kind of want to look like I've moved forward in life. I know. Let's go get in a relationship with someone else. Even though I kind of have mental conflict about moving forward with them, and I'm still kind of defensive because that other person juggled me. And the whole thing is, if we haven't healed from a past relationship, well, for one, we should take some time to heal and emotionally detach from that. Why didn't that relationship work? Was it, what about us contributed to that relationship not working? Well, did we change? Have we changed? Are we the same person that contributed to that relationship not working out? Well, if that person that a relationship didn't work out with is high vibe, that person's moved on. They're like, see ya. You were prideful, egotistical. It was overwhelming to be in a relationship with you. You're self-centered. You're egotistical. I'm not interested in being in a relationship with you. And they've moved on. But some of the people who are still in their ego about it, who are full of themselves, keep thinking some of those people might want to get back in a relationship with me one day. And if they were a loving, nurturing, supportive person, and maybe the person, they're just people who I don't know, maybe just feed their ego, right? It's kind of all about them. That is shadowy Aries energy. It's all about me, my wants, my needs, my lust, my greed. You know, if this relationship doesn't work out, I always want to have an option available to go back to. you know? For some, it's because of how they harness their Capricorn energy. Some people have done the work to free themselves from the past and past pain and heartbreak, and they've healed. They're not in their ego about that past relationship. They don't need someone from their past to validate their worth and value. I know my worth and value. You know, that if someone from their past were to come towards them, it'd be like, I'm defensive to you and have my sword up to you because I saw the truth about you. You were hurtful, you were unkind, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not interested in being in a relationship with you. I've moved on. And for some people, that's where you're at, you know? When you're moving forward in your life, you could have someone that you're detaching from. Finally, you know, it takes time to heal. And not, even if you're not in a relationship with them, maybe never even see them, it takes time to emotionally detach from that. And if we haven't taken that creative, inspired action to love ourselves and believe in ourselves, to see the truth and give ourselves everything that we wish they would have given us, we could be tempted by people, that person or other people who appear in our life who kind of remind us of that person. Oh, I knew someone before who picked things of the world over me before. And if we're still in our ego about it, it's kind of like we want to make people who are like that. You know, you could equate it to someone who was like an alcoholic. I knew people in my life who didn't give me the things I wanted in my life because they chose alcohol over me. I am bound and determined to make someone who's an alcoholic choose me. Good luck. It doesn't have anything to do with your worth and value, but some people, they did take it more personally. You know, people are, there's that indefinable thing. Why do some, you know, just like a friend, why is there some people were kind of interested in pursuing just a, you know, a girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, just a friend? Why are some people, you know, we got common interests, we click, you know, there's that indefinable thing. And why don't we pursue relationships, friendships with other people? You know, it's just, you know, we're generally trying to find people who are on the same page as us. Some people, even in romantic relationships, really have a problem with that. They, again, could be people who want to be in a certain group, like as if that, again, them aligned with their more worldly nature. If other people seem to belong to a group that they think, in their mind anyway, people look up to and admire, and in their ego, they want to be part of that group. Well, if they have someone in that group, or people they view like that, as being not including them in that group, they could be in their ego about it. And it's more because of their ego nature that if they had an opportunity to be in a friendship or relationship with people like that, they would do it because they view that as like the establishment, where there's other people in the world who have no interest in being in that group because they could find those people kind of stubborn and prideful and egotistical, aligned with their more worldly, shadowy nature, and they have no interest in being their friends or being in their group, you know? But other people are in their ego about it. I want to be part of that group. So I think some high vibe people who've been in jobs and relationships with people that they're not on the same page with, they're driven and motivated by different things and harness their Capricorn energy differently, their Leo energy differently, their Taurus energy. And then the Scorpio is some people want to explore the mysteries of life. They want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. That's high vibe Scorpio. I'm going to put an end to my more immature, prideful, egotistical, stubborn, not willing to invest in people because I need to grow up and mature myself if I want my dreams to come into reality. And I want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And they do that work within themselves. And they're doing that work within themselves. And some of them are in relationships with people who are on that same page as them. And other people prefer to, like I might have said before, you know, in shadowy Scorpio energy, I want to be more emotionally. I am more superficial. I am more about the world. I am more about my ego. I am more about image and status and how other people perceive me. And that's what I'm motivated and inspired by, not love. Even if I did have loving people in my life, I don't really align with listening to my more loving, intuitive nature. My worldly nature has control of my life, and I'm aligned with that. I'll reject the loving, encouraging, supportive people, even though they would treat me in a just, fair, loving manner, would like to maybe be in a relationship with me. That's not what drives and motivates me. What drives and motivates me is how the world views me. And that's where they derive their sense of self-worth and value from, is based on how the world views them. So if they get in relationships with loving people, again, they can get in a relationship. It's good as long as it's good for their ego and their image and their status, and other people are willing to let them be emotionally shallow and superficial and prideful and egotistical and arrogant and not really invest, then hey, let's stay in a relationship. You keep being loving and nurturing and supportive. I don't really want to do that. But if you're going to enable me and defend me in my poor behavior, hey, let's keep going. And some people are in relationships like that, and they're going to keep going with it until the people they're in a relationship with just can't take it anymore. And they're willing to get out of their illusion and see the truth. That I need to pick up my investment in this person because my dream is never going to come into reality with them if I don't want to be in a relationship who has all those shadowy characteristics. I need to quit investing in them, and I need to look to the future and go invest time, energy, and effort with the people in the world who are on the same page as me. So, some of the people who are in shadowy energy right now could be getting in a new relationship because they're still going to keep thinking they know best. And if they found someone who's willing to move forward with them, then that's who they're going to move forward with. And they're going to keep aligned with their truth of being emotionally cold and detached and juggling. Some people could be trying to move forward in a relationship right now, and if the other person they're in a relationship with is starting to see the truth that this will be their future if they move forward with those people, and they listen to their intuition and they don't let their ego or their fear or their codependent nature run their life, they're going to end the relationship with someone who's like that, and they're going to move on. Even though it causes them some mental conflict, even though it could feel kind of overwhelming, they know their dream can't come into reality with those people, and they're going to move on. And those of you who previously had been in a relationship like that, you have been putting in the work and effort to emotionally detach. You've been standing up for yourself while these other people in your life probably went and had a shallow victory, is what the Five of Swords talks about, because you weren't willing to indulge them. And then they were maybe hoping if they went and got in a victory with someone else, you'd feel overwhelmed, you'd feel betrayed, and they could have been hoping that you'd put an end to believing in your dreams and you'd communicate with a stubborn person that you were willing and wanting to get back in a relationship with them and defend them being the shadowy person they are. And for some of them, the shadowy people have a lot of mental conflict and are overwhelmed because you never did that. And you did the work to heal and detach from the past. High vibe Scorpio is, I am willing to emotionally detach from the past to transform my life and give birth to something new because I have a dream. And some of those people see you doing it, and they're moving forward in their illusion of having it all. And they know you're really going to have true victory in your life because you're not taking action in your life out of pettiness and envy and jealousy and revenge and pride and ego and fear and insecurity and being concerned about your image. You're just living your authentic life. You've changed, and you're giving it everything you've got to look to the future And right now, some of you aren't investing in someone. For others of you, you might have communicated to someone that maybe you had ended a relationship with before in the past, who you do think is someone who acts with character and integrity, and told them that, you went and lived your life, I went and lived my life. I've learned a lot of lessons in life, and I'm not moving forward with the people in my life because I see the truth that when I was maybe more aligned with my worldly nature, you know, the Hierophant can mean a lot of things too about like, you know, why do we kind of think and maybe think that someone's a maybe better partner than someone else? It could be because of all these things of the world, like, well, we're the same religion, we're the same race, we grew up in similar backgrounds, we both wanted to live in high rises where other people wanted to live in the country or a small town, or, all those kind of things. And everybody could have thought that the way they were living their life at that time, and it could have worked if the people you were in a relationship with um, kind of were on the same page as you, but you could have found out that even though you had a lot of similarities, maybe it just got to be where some people had some shadowy ways of being or codependent ways of being or worldly attachments, and you're kind of different in those regards, and you're kind of realizing that the kind of worldly things that you thought could have made you much more similar with one person. Again, when you look at something like religion or race, and really it should have been more about what people's philosophy of life was about love and character and integrity, instead of maybe getting in a relationship with someone by these more worldly standards. And you could have communicated to someone that you're moving on and you've seen the truth, and basically who knows how that other person could be living their life. And if some of those people, now that it seems like you guys are back on the same page again, not the shadowy person you were with before, this would be someone, that when a relationship ended, they weren't prideful and egotistical and selfish and greedy and lying about you and all that. There's somebody who acted with character and integrity, and those people might be willing to detach from what they've been in to speak their truth, because with you they do feel like their dreams could come into reality, and they could be coming towards you to maybe do a lot of communication to find out, are we on the same page now? In the past, we might have let these worldly things and maybe some of our ego and some of our fears interfere, and some of them, they might come towards you. But the whole thing is, you've got to listen to your intuition, because some of you could be in some mental conflict, wondering if someone you might have communicated with, if they're going to come towards you. And the whole thing is, we just have to trust that if they don't, it's time to move on and realize that maybe they aren't who we thought they were. Maybe during a period of time they got caught up in fear or insecurity or pride or ego, or maybe they got in a relationship that is moving forward with someone who is on the same page as them. There's consequences to our actions. If we didn't get in a relationship with someone else because we had lessons to learn, well, that person could have gotten in a relationship that is a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them, and of course they should stay in that relationship. If you knew if that person was in a relationship. The Hierophant doesn't necessarily mean that they were. It's just, you, with the Page of Swords, you could have communicated to someone who you'd ended a relationship with before. And if it has been kind of stopping you from moving forward, taking time to see if they were ready to emotionally detach from however they'd been living their life to move forward with you, there comes a point in time where we have to see that some people aren't going to come with us, and we need to let go of thinking we can have a new beginning with them and come together with them. And we let that go, even though it causes us mental conflict. It's all about, I trust the divine has a plan for my life. If people were meant to be in my life, they'd be in my life. If people aren't willing to put in the work and effort, if they were the people I was in relationship with, then they've shown me what their truth is. And maybe we just have different dreams. Maybe they're not motivated and inspired by the same things. And if we are in a relationship with people that are like that, why would we possibly? We know if we look back and kind of get in our egoic nature, our egoic nature will try to put an end to our dreams, because that's what like the devil and shadowy energy is about, is putting an end to you getting your divine inheritance. If any of you are in loving, nurturing, supportive relationships with just and fair and creative and inspired and balanced people, do not be tempted to indulge in your ego. That, we want people who, well, just don't get caught up in your ego would kind of be the thing about it. If you know that you're in a relationship with someone where it's mismatched and it's overwhelming, and you know that person is defensive and juggles and prideful and egotistical and stubborn and all that, well, then certainly maybe look back. If there's, did you move forward in that relationship because you were in your ego, because you got tired of standing up for yourself and believing in yourself, and someone came along and, kind of in your ego, you got in a relationship? The truth, there's nothing shameful about speaking your truth if your truth is based on, I had growing up and maturing to do. I was fearful. I was insecure. We are all human beings. Everybody can relate to that. I was kind of prideful. I was egotistical. I want, but it's not a good idea to get in a relationship with someone because we have mental conflict or because we're overwhelmed. We're probably going to go through a difficult ending eventually, because we really weren't balanced within ourselves. And we all kind of have gone through that before too. It's part of growing up. And life giving energy is about offering yourself compassion and forgiveness for the lessons that you had to learn in life. And when you finally learn those lessons, you're finally really ready. I'm not settling this time. I'm going to maintain the balance within myself so I don't have all this mental conflict, so I don't feel overwhelmed. I'm going to keep moving forward in hope and faith and belief. I'm going to keep speaking my truth. I have healed from the past. I am not letting the past pain and heartbreak or whatever dictate my decisions anymore. Truth and love dictates my decisions. And those are the people I want to work with. And if those people aren't in my life right now, I'm not going to stay focused on people of the past. I'm going to keep looking to the future. If people from the past come up, so be it. I'm going to keep looking to the future to see what God has in store for me, and come what may. And whoever approaches me, anyone from the past, anyone from the future, I'm going to listen to my intuition and probably maintain good boundaries within myself before I move forward with people, because I want to see the truth of them before I really invest in them, because I have no interest in repeating a pattern of relationship with someone who might be prideful, egotistical, defensive, self-centered, doesn't really invest, immature. I'm going to get to know them before together we move forward in a relationship. Are we both on the same page? Have we both put in work and effort to free ourselves from the past to invest in this new beginning? Are we both people who put in work and effort to maintain our balance, or not? So there you go. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.